Yes, indeed. There is two parts to DSM. About 80% of DSM is nutrition and health, and the other 20% is our materials business. And you very correctly point out that we actually had a very strong finish to the year. Now, if we look at our nutrition business, we had a 9% increase in organic growth. That led to 10% up in adjusted EBITDA, and that is even despite the foreign exchange headwinds with the weaker dollar that we have been seeing. Now, what's also nice is that in the fourth quarter, we saw a strong recovery from our materials business, which was the first quarter in 2020. Q2, Q3 were much harder, but we saw volumes up 14%, linked to the automotive sector, primarily, I have to say. And in terms of the overall results, it's really nice to also see that our cash generation was up by 19% this year. So pretty solid financial results for what was a challenging year for the world, and certainly an unprecedented one.
Dimitri, let me cross over to you, because we saw in the final 3 months that the improvement that has just been fleshed out there from Geraldine. But how much visibility do you have now as you cast out your outlook for 2021 and provide just a little bit more detail around the nutrition numbers that you're expecting?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Indeed, I think we need to dive one segment deeper. We have animal nutrition, we have human nutrition, and obviously we have our materials businesses. And they basically have 3 different streams to it. So let me start with human nutrition and health. What we always say is that health and nutrition go hand in hand. And we've seen during the whole COVID-19 pandemic that it really was the case. And there's a lot of scientific evidence that nutrition helps your immune system. And I hope that you also took your dietary supplements this morning, because there's lots of scientific evidence that it helps you boosting your immunity system. And that helped the growth of human nutrition and health. Then on the animal nutrition and health space, where we supply animal nutrition premixes and feed to all different species, we've seen that throughout the year it was a bit of a roller coaster. We had an extreme good Q1 with insecurity around COVID, and we saw some destocking in Q2 and Q3. I'm very happy to see that Q4 was normalizing, and we've seen decent growth in the animal nutrition and health space. And on materials, I think Geraldine already alluded to it, so let me stop there.
Let me jump in here. Both of you. Nice to see you both, by the way, as well. Look, we've just had a conversation about oil. We've just had a conversation about hydrocarbons. Now, we know that your company is fully invested in, as your own website says, winds of change and solar operations as well, and the materials to drive these renewables as well. What do you make of prospects for increased hydrocarbon demand and people talking about a super cycle there? Do you think that people, when they say that, are just not being ambitious enough looking for alternatives? And if there is a super cycle in hydrocarbons, and specifically oil, how will that change the perspective for your business and the products you're selling as well? Why don't I start off with Geraldine?
Well, thank you very much for pointing to this, because indeed we are a company that is not only innovation driven, but very much a recognized ESG stock. And you know that we have been very active in not only the net zero roadmap for 2050, but very concrete steps when it comes to 2030. Now, a lot of our innovation is linked to improving the environmental footprint of our customers. And I have to say that we don't see a reversal of that trend, neither be it from our nutrition customers who are looking at the environmental impact of food production, or our materials customers who are very much looking at substituting metals for plastics, looking at renewable, we're looking at recyclable. Circularity is where all of the innovation money is going right now. So from a trend point of view, it would be quite a surprise to see a reversal, amongst others, because consumers and customers are very keen on making sure that they consume products and services that are environmentally sustainable. So that's the way I look at it. But Dimitri, is there something that you would add in terms of the input costs, maybe?
Yeah, I think any change around the world will help innovation. And I think what we have seen, that you and mankind have surprises of many, many times. And this cycle, as you included, could spur that innovation. That's one. Secondly, everything which has to do with innovation and putting a price on waste would spur innovation. And that's why we as DSM stand for. I think that's a problem which we do see for the world, that there's no price on waste. And I think if we put on that, then I think the whole circular thinking will be accelerated. And that is something where we as DSM have a role to play.